Oh, that's brilliant. Now, tell me, do you do yoga? Well, you will be. You're going to be doing it with me in about 20 minutes time, so do settle in for that. And before I go, I just want to show you some pictures. You will know in the Northern Hemisphere, it's the summer solstice. It's the longest day of the year. And here is Stonehenge, the World Heritage Site in the southwest of England. For the first time in 2 years, people have been allowed to celebrate at the site. So there they are at the moment, watching the sunrise on the longest day of the year. Join me for yoga. Now, would you know your downward dog from your tree pose? If the answer is yes, mine is no, chances are you're part of a growing number of people enjoying the health benefits of yoga. Today is International Yoga Day, celebrating all things yoga, specifically promoting it as a holistic approach to health and well-being. And it's become one of the fastest growing wellness practices in the past decade, with revenues of $80 billion globally. Joining me now is Heather Mason, who's the founding director of the Yoga in Healthcare Alliance. Thank you so much for joining me, Heather. Now, I was thinking about this. I mean, alongside the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic that spread globally, we also had another crisis or a pandemic of sorts, and that's the mental health crisis. And it got me thinking, and I'm sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the yoga industry has massively benefited from both.
Yes, I mean, a huge amount of people recognizing the pervasive mental health benefits of yoga have taken up the practice. And I'd like to say that not only the industry has benefited, but actually the healthcare services have benefited, because when people are empowered to take health into their own hands through the comprehensive practice of yoga, which includes not just the movement, but breathing, reflections, mindfulness, meditation, all of this, then they're improving their mental health for themselves at a time where we have never really seen on record greater levels. In fact, I call it the second pandemic.
But should it really cost as much as it did? I saw some absolutely staggering statistics that the average yogi in the States spends $64,000 over the course of their lifetime indulging this passion, whether that's classes, workshops, the gear, etc. I mean, this is a big money spinner.
Yes, in some ways it can be very expensive, but it need not be at all. I mean, all you need to practice yoga is some tuition and a surface with traction, which should cost you very little, just to get started. And the real business case for yoga is not the benefit to corporates and the cost associated with all of those things, but the reduction of burden on the health systems that we see. 70% of the budget in most healthcare systems is associated with long-term lifestyle conditions. And research reveals yoga is really good at both preventing them, at changing the health trajectory for people that are presenting in early intervention stages, and better management. So no, definitely it does not need to be expensive, and I'm a huge proponent of making it accessible to everybody and having it inserted into the healthcare services. In fact, our book, Yoga on Prescription.
We're gonna have to leave it there, because I can't let you promote your book. But what I can do for you is say that I'm sold, and I have no idea if this floor has any traction, because you said that's what we need. But we are going to try and make it accessible for all. I'm a complete novice. I am, however, Heather, going to take off my shoes because I think I'm going to fall otherwise. I'm going to put them up here. Sorry to the studio manager. And you're going to teach me a bit of yoga, if that's all right, because you said that it benefits people's mental health, their physical well-being, etc. So what can people do to reduce their stress? We've got people across the country at the moment, hopefully joining us for a bit of morning yoga, but also dealing with lots of stress because of the rail strikes and whatever. So next time you're waiting on the platform, waiting for a train, what could you be doing?
So actually, it's the breathing techniques that have the greatest efficacy. So you don't even need to love movement and all of that, but you can do some simple breathing techniques that have really positive effects on brain function and stress reduction. So what I'm going to teach you is what's called Ujjayi breath, or in English we usually call it ocean breathing. And what you do is you exhale out of your nose, making an ocean-like sound. So it's like this. Just on the exhale. For new
Now, I've got your business news coming up in just a moment. We're going to be talking about the rail strikes, and the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, is expected to condemn the action we're expected to see today, calling for a sensible compromise. Will one be reached? Who knows? Join me for the business very soon. Moment, hopefully joining us for a bit of morning yoga, but also dealing with lots of stress because of the rail strikes and whatever. So next time you're waiting on the platform, waiting for a train, what could you be doing?
So actually, it's the breathing techniques that have the greatest efficacy. So you don't even need to love movement and all of that, but you can do some simple breathing techniques that have really positive effects on brain function and stress reduction. So what I'm going to teach you is what's called Ujjayi breath, or in English we usually call it ocean breathing. And what you do is you exhale out of your nose, making an ocean-like sound. So it's like this. Just on the exhale. For newbies, they may want to try to just breathe out of the mouth first, making that kind of noise. And then imagine, and please do imagine yourself, that you have a nose at your throat. I know that's a little bit strange. And you can close your mouth, inhale naturally, and imagine that you're exhaling out of the nose on the throat, just like that. And as you do this, I'm just going to explain very briefly why this is so powerful. So inhale naturally, exhale, gentle, elongated ocean breath, breathing out of the throat with the mouth closed. So the major nerve of relaxation is called your vagus nerve. It comes from the base of the brain down to the heart. And we know that every time we exhale, it increases its signaling to the heart, and that signaling reduces heart rate and intensity of contraction. So literally every time you elongate your exhale in this manner, you give your heart a break. That is sent back up to your brain, evoking further relaxation. So this is my go-to. People can do it in business meetings, waiting, like you said, the tube at work. And the more that you do it, the greater the impact over time.
I've been doing some practicing. Should we go have a look at the markets? Asian markets, bit of a mixed picture as you can see, but Brent crude hitting $115 a barrel. A bit of a mixed inheritance from Wall Street as well. I'll take my shoes. I'm off for some breakfast. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for your time today and your company. You can always reach me on Twitter. I'm at @TheFritzNews. I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.
Hello. The Rockies and the plains of the Midwest have both experienced extreme heat